We kept it because we felt like it was a bridge between us and fitting in with white folks, right? So they're going to church and learning about this Jesus is supposed to love all and so on and so forth. It's the bridge when you pay attention. That's what Jesus was. Jesus was a Band-Aid. He was that bridge that we thought that we could cross to basically fit in and be accepted by white folks. That if we was Christians, then we can get along with these people. When you go back and look at all the marches with Dr. King, right? You see all those white people marching in the front with him. Those are preachers, man. They are pastors. These are people from churches. These white men. That's why they're there. It's not like it's some political guy, white guy that's there to help. These are preachers. These are people that's associated with the church. And most of the people that came to a lot of these marches and movements were all from the church. And what was that designed to do? Keep your black ass going to church. Plain and simple. So if you go back, remember with the, Black Wall Street, one of the ladies that they interviewed that survived, she was like in her 80s or 90s or something like that. She said when they came into the house and they was burning down their houses and everything, they burned everything, but they didn't burn the Bibles. They didn't burn the crosses. They let them keep that. They let them walk out with their Bibles and walk out with their crosses, right? So they kind of sort of understood the psychological ramifications of it. And again, you got to go and look at that and say, well, wait a minute. If these white folks is going to church and they believe in hell and they believe in morality and sin or what have you, how could they lynch us? How could they do what they did during Jim Crow and during the civil rights movement, beating black folks and doing the sick shit that they did? So that leads you to believe that at some point or during this time, they didn't even think we was human, right? So we're supposed to accept this book today, and even back then, as being this book that is full of some type of truth when it was given to us in deception, right? It was created in deception. And we've been accepting it for so long. So forget the ancient manuscripts and everything that they're talking about with that. It's the history that follows the religion itself, that follows the manuscripts in the Bible, that gives me a reason to step away from it and to do my own research. And that's one of the reasons why I did so. Now, what I'm going to hear from the white apologists and the people who want to debate me on this that's white is I'm making it about race. And it's not that I'm using it to race bait or what have you. It's a legit question. Why was this done this way? How is it that we're following the same God and you guys are blessed and, eating good and we work for you? We ain't getting paid either. What's up with that? So when I get into the debates or when I talk to white apologists about this whole thing, it's what I use. You can call me racist, whatever you want to say. I have to, from a historical standpoint, look at it in that way, me being black myself. And me being real, I don't matter what color I would be, man. Me just being a real person, the person that I am, I have to look at it in that way. That something is wrong with this book being put out the way it was put out to us and us not getting the same benefits from it. It would have you believe that it was made to benefit one group of people over another. And then we go back in history and see that this has been the same thing for a long time. That my whole entire life until up to now, I've been seeing white Jesus, paintings of white Jesus, white angels, no black angels, no black Jesus until, we got a little bit more conscious, a little bit more time passed and common sense set in that told you there's nowhere in the world, no blind-haired, blue-eyed dude named Jesus was walking around in the Middle East, right? In Jerusalem or what have you, Israel, right? So it's just so much more to it outside of manuscripts. It's a very real common sense part to it, a real personal part to it that I like to get into and touch on because, when you look at the history of slavery, you look at what we went through and then you just read all the stories, that's one of the most saddest parts that I seen growing up when I was getting into the whole, civil rights movement and Jim Crow was the fact that, Dan, they wouldn't even let us in the same church. And you see the KKK in the robes or what have you, burning crosses and saying that they're a Christian organization. And you got to look at all that. You got to look at all that and put that all in the same bag and say, ain't no fucking way in the world. This is what we're supposed to be studying and reading, right? So to, my challengers, the people that want to debate or what have you, I can get very real on the whole situation. We can get scholarly or we can get real technical about the situation, but the emails got to stop. So the thing is, one, you guys say the same shit. I don't know if y'all part of the same group or whatever it is, but it's the same argument that I think people are watching a certain video, probably West Huff or somebody, and piggybacking off of it as far as using their argument. But for the people who say, oh, I seen your work or I watch your work, it's trash, it's garbage. You couldn't have watched it because I completely crushed your entire argument in the videos. The one video destroys everything you guys have to say about the manuscripts. And at the end of the day, it still goes back to you guys having to have faith in them because we don't have anything to prove the validity of what you guys are pushing. An apologist, what the fuck is that? I don't understand that whole thing. Apologize for what? What you got to apologize for that's supposed to be perfect? What you got to apologize for that's supposed to be without errors, right? How do you explain that? So it's for the people who don't understand that we have manuscripts and those manuscripts got a lot of fucking issues. Because if you're going to go in, if you're going to go dig into this whole thing, you're going to dig into the manuscripts and you're going to get into that. And then it's going to send you down a rabbit hole of, what if and why and how did they copy these things? And, we skip over the fact that, dude, it was no printing press back then. These people hand copied it. So how could you ever accept without errors, right? Divinely inspired by who? By God? Prove it. That's the biggest thing to me. Prove it. Somebody come to you and say, hey, God gave me this message to give to you. I think you need to listen. The fuck? Like, stop it. How are you going to prove that? So I always feel like somebody's insulting my intelligence. You insulting me when you come to me with this, oh man, I saw a demon last night. Oh, I saw spirits. Ghosts is real. Prove it. Right? I had so many people arguing with me about that shit. When I talk about these spirits and what that whole thing is about, people say, well, you can't tell me that, man. I saw the spirit. Or I saw it. You saw some bullshit that you believe was whatever it was. You was half asleep or high, whatever the situation may be. Even if you did see something or you saw something that you believe to be a spirit or a ghost or what have you, how can you prove that shit to me? You can't. I met Janet Jackson before. I don't have the photo no more. I don't tell people because I don't have the picture. So people most likely not going to believe the shit. It just sounds like a story. But I can make up a story. Anybody. People make up stories every day on social media. How are we supposed to believe it if you don't have the proof, right? So it's a lot. So yeah, before I get into, debating anybody on this whole thing, I haven't come across one apologist or Christian or what have you that had any, type of, information that's, that's tangible that make me want to talk, or debate. Like if you came and you brought something that was like, damn, this is hard and I don't have an answer for it, I got to go dig. Or it just opened up a whole can of fucking whip ass or worms into a whole nother fucking side of, biblical manuscripts or ancient history involving the Bible that I don't know about, then I'll be on top of it because it's like, wow, this needs to be talked about. But it's the same shit. And I've been through it all. And it's nothing that you can bring to the table to make me look at the situation differently because there's nothing, right? That was history, ancient history. We have everything we need on it. And we've done all the research for us who have done the actual research. Clearly, you guys have not because you still believe in the shit. But I've been through it all. So, people are so hyped to debate. And it's like, at the end of the day, debate, the conclusion is going to be faith, right? You're going to need faith for you to prove your point and get your point across when all I got to do is sit there and say, prove it, prove it, prove it. And you can't do that shit. So you're going to be asking the audience or asking the people who's watching to accept what you're saying. And that's like accepting a fucking crazy person walking down the street saying, I saw Jesus. I got $1 million. I got to accept that shit too, right? Why would I accept that? That's like me accepting all the crazy people who come out and say, I saw a UFO. I was abducted by an alien. An alien's abducted me and did experiments on me. I got to just accept and believe that shit, right? You ain't got no picture of a bald head, big alien eyes, no big giant head, no, what do you call it? Mushroom head aliens or nothing like that. It's just you saying something. And I always give you guys that analogy, right? Would you accept, somebody came to you and said, hey, you got change for 100 and they gave you a $100 bill. Before you made that change, would you inspect the $100 bill first or would you just give them your money? Right? Damn well you're going to look and make sure that $100 bill real before you just hand over your change, your money. You're going to inspect it. So this is all we're doing. We're expecting our money. We're inspecting our money. We're inspecting our history. We're inspecting our hearts, our souls, our minds, our beliefs, our consciousness. We're making sure that what you guys are putting out that's going to affect those things add up and make sense. Plain and simple. So yeah, I want to thank you guys for taking the time to watch. I have so many videos. You guys know I put out so much over the years on all this, and it's a lot to get into. And I want to get into the same stuff over and over again. But just for the people who I talk to, who I know want to watch, who watches my videos, you guys don't understand. It's a whole underground world of biblical debates and religious stuff that goes on with people that's in the conscious community. It's a lot of back and forth that goes on. And some of these scholars and people that hit me up for information, for advice about a lot of things, man. And we collab. We collab on a lot of stuff. And it's cool. Some of these guys are in the society. Some of these guys will be joining us on the Egypt trip. And it's just good to get into these conversations with people that's just like-minded. And I love it. And it's the whole reason why I created the Scholar Society is for this. But then you have the other side of it where you have apologists and you have, imams and religious people that's in Judaism, Christianity, Islam, or what have you, who some want to debate, some feel like they know what they know, and they got one over on you or what have you, and they want to debate. Now, for some reason, I guess it's going around that I'm the guy. People just believe that I'm just this, top dog when it comes to this whole thing. Dude, man, I'm just putting out information, putting out my research. I'm not the top dog. My word is not the end all be all when it comes to biblical manuscripts. So what the fuck is the point? I'm pretty sure somebody else on YouTube that's talking about the same shit. Like, I'm here to teach, and you can listen and accept what I'm saying, or you can keep it moving. But as far as debating some shit that at the end of the day is not going to benefit nobody, just for you to get get embarrassed, because that's what I'm going to do to you. I'm doing you a favor, right? It's pointless. So, even people dangling money or what have you, they'll keep your money, save your money. Like, I don't want to take your money and have you all pissed off because you're going to lose. And you already lost. And I could just put on a video and sit back and fold my arms and just put the video on. And I don't got to say nothing because my video speaks for itself. It's just what it comes down to. So, like, either they're going to accept that shit. For the people who say they're watching the content, you watching it and you butthurt. You watching it and you crying and you mad. You see us 2 or 3 points that I made and you got upset and then you went in your bag. No way you watched the entire video. And I can tell by the questions I get from these people that they ain't watch shit. So it just is what it is. But yeah, let me get up out of here. I'm in a fucking parking lot right now in Vegas. So it's kind of crazy. Cars all over the place. My bad. You guys know me. I don't give a shit. I'm going to record wherever I need to record when I got to say what I got to say. I don't give a fuck who around. But this is important because, we got a little back and forth, and I wanted to put this out and get this out to you guys. But yeah, appreciate the new members of the Scholar Society. A lot of people joined the last couple of days. Again, I waived the initial fee. It's $18 a month. Appreciate you guys joining. Appreciate everybody who already booked and reserved their spot for the Kemet trip. And we got a lot, man. It's a lot we're going to do. It's going to be a once-in-a-lifetime thing. It's going to be dope. I'm going to do my documentary out there, and it's going to be banging. You guys will be a part of it. So I appreciate you guys. We'll get into a lot more information. Oh, yeah, calendars is up again for members, so make sure you guys check it out. But yeah, see you guys next video. Peace.